Hey y'all, we back at it again. So this is gonna be part two of what you need to know before hiring your contractor for your ADU or your tiny home, right? Um, so this is for educational purposes only. So this is the thing. You want to make sure that this contractor knows about city codes, okay? So city codes come before you're designing. So if you're doing a tiny home that's built on property, on your particular property, and your city allows that, then this would be some. These are the design questions that you would ask them. Meaning, this contractor is going to build it from ground up. Now, if your county or your city allows for you to build off of site, or a prefab home, then this is also city questions that you would was I'm sorry, city code questions that you would be asking your contractor, right? You'll be asking about the zoning destination. Well, you'll be informing him this, right? And he'll be asking you this. If he's a good contractor, he's going to ask you these questions. But you're also going to need to know these answers, okay? When he's asking, because he's going to ask you about the zoning destination, right? You need to know where you going to put this tiny house or this ADU or this prefab home. You need to know. Um, that way, that gives him more information to work with as far as looking up city codes, right? Okay, a good contractor will ask you about setbacks. Are there any setbacks that you may come up? I don't know. Maybe you going on vacation in January or whatever. Okay. A good contractor may even ask you about the maximum square footage. You need to know, and these are things that you need to know as well, right? Your maximum square footage. For example, in my city, the code is you can only have an ADU that is half of your square footage of your primary home. So if my primary home is 1,000 square footage, the ADU can only be up to 500 square footage. That's just in my city. I don't know what y'all codes, so you gotta look that up yourself, okay? Also, the height limits. There are height limits in the city code. He's gonna ask you that. You need to know the answer, okay? The utility requirements, okay? He's gonna ask you about the utility requirements. You need to know if your city codes will allow you to have your electrical or your plumbing come off of your ADU, or are they going to be individually running, right? The parking rules. Nobody ever thinks about parking rules. You need to know if your city codes allows you to park a certain amount of numbers in your driveway, or can you park on the side of the street. These are things that you need to know because the contractor is going to ask you. Now, if he says, "Oh yeah, we'll figure that out later," that's a red flag, y'all. That's a red flag because later when your project when it fails or it's dragging along or you're gonna be mad. But you should have asked these questions, right? You should have asked these questions and he should have asked them. If you don't ask the questions, you got to make sure that he's asking these questions. These are vital questions that's gonna lead up to making a decision of choosing the right contractor, right, for this project that you're doing. Now, another big, huge thing is the payment structure is a huge tell. When you're speaking to the contractor, um, and nobody's working for free. Let's just put it out like that. Nobody is working for free. D- don't expect people to work for free. Don't expect people to cut you a discount. Okay, these people, contractors have to pay their bills just like you do. Okay, that's what's wrong with the world now. Everybody wanna expect something for nothing. Okay, and that's not that ain't it. It just ain't right. Y'all know it ain't right. You know it ain't right when you ask or when you try to swindle people into doing something for free, or you try to manipulate people. You know it ain't right when you do it. But anyway, a healthy structure of payment would look like a small deposit, clear milestones, right? So let's go back to the small deposits. So what I mean by small deposits are he needs to break down um how much the estimate would be for the project, but then the payment plan shouldn't be you pay all of it the first day. You pay the whole amount the first day, right? Let me stop. Something in my all right, y'all. My bad. Something was in my eye. Couldn't get it out. Wish I had my grandmother blowing my eye, but anyway. So the small amount you shouldn't be paying the full amount the first day he start. No, you need to pay them in increments, right? They also need to make sure that they're giving you a number two, a clear milestone. So a clear milestone looks like, okay, with my contractor, he set out a contract for me because I'm very organized. I like for him to put how much I'm paying with what I'm paying and what milestone are we reaching once I pay this certain amount, right? Yours don't have to look like that. I'm just very organized and I like to have clear communication. But that's important, okay? Then you have three. Your payments tied to the progression is just not a vibe, okay? What I will tell y'all, red flags that are for me. This, whatever, it's on y'all. But these are my red flags, right? My red flags are when they want cash only, flag on the play. When they want a large amount up front, like I explained, you want all your money up front that first day. And then if they have no written schedule, for me, nah. Those are my three red flags right there. That let me know you money hungry, you trying to hurry up and get paid, and then you gonna run off on the plug twice. You might not finish the work. I don't have, see, you can, if they're state licensed, you can go back and you can sue on their bond. But me, I don't have time for that. And I don't like to make unnecessary mistakes if I would have done my due diligence, right? And use my discernment. So anyway, you should never pay for work that hasn't been already completed or inspected. I'm gonna be honest with you. If the work is not completed or it hasn't been inspected, I'm not paying you. I'm not. No, it ain't gonna work. Now, when the project first starts, I will give them startup money. It's gonna be a small deposit because that's just money for the supplies. Once you finish the work, then I pay you the rest of the money. Or if we have an inspection after that, then that's how I work with the payments, y'all. Cause you not finna get me. I also recommend that I'm gonna jump into the next one with the next video because I don't went too far. So those are things that you want to look for before you hire your contractor. Okay. I'm gonna do a part 3 so we can get into that. This is gonna be the last portion of what you need to look for before you get a contract or whatnot. So anyway, I'm gonna grab me some chips or something, and in the meantime, y'all like, follow, subscribe if y'all need more information on the process of getting this ADU or this tiny house. Thank y'all.